G'day, Warbles on a lot here. Now when people talk about Stone Age technology, they generally tend to think about a couple of rocks which just sort of happen to have more or less the right shape, so that if you put your grass seeds into the depression in the one rock, then you can get another rock and you can grind your grain and you can make flour and you can mix that with some water and you can make yourself some fairly simple sort of a dough, and you can cook that on the fire, and there you go, you've got your simple primitive mortar and pestle. Here's another version of the same style of a thing. You haven't got to carry it around, you can leave it at each particular campsite. Mortars and pestles. When it comes to shaping wood, a lot of people tend to visualise some form of a piece of rock that's shaped pretty much like an axe. And this would be a really good example if it wasn't for the fact that it came out of a quarry and it's been extracted with dynamite. Same thing goes for this exquisite basalt sharp-edged scraper, which you can use for taking the fat off an animal skin. Came from a quarry, mined with explosive. Same thing with this one. The kind of stones that you're going to find in nature are more like this, and this is a piece of frost shattered, weathered basalt from the trap rock country up at around the 1100 metres, and it has got quite a nice sharp edge, and yes, you could use that for skinning an animal or doing some final finish on woodwork, but it's fortuitous. However, when you think that Aborigines gave up on cross boomerangs 10,000 years ago because they were so proficient at making aerofoils out of hardwood that could be flown as auto-rotating rotary wing sailplanes, you have to get it through your head that they made some fairly special stone tools in order to make their fairly special, highly aerodynamic woodwork. And I've never, until yesterday, known what sort of a tool they used. However, a couple of days ago, a friend of mine who lives in the Man River Valley invited me to come down and have a look at a very, very interesting stone that he had discovered, which he said he kind of visualised as being a deliberately manufactured stone tool. And I suggested he talk to a local archaeologist, but he rang me up again yesterday, so I went down and I had a look, and now he's lent it to me, because this particular stone edge here with a chip out of it, it's particularly good for carving the leading and trailing edges of boomerangs. And if you're chasing a different curvature, you've got it there. And 3 cuts from a triangular section piece of fortuitous stone gives you this magnificently crafted Boomerang-Carver's woodwork shop. The cutting edge in here is particularly useful for smoothing the round shaft of a hardwood spear, and presumably there was a boring beak which has been broken off at some time. More or less the same thing goes for this chip out of here, which means that the boomerang leading edge profile is not quite accurate. So this has been perhaps still in use as a plane. It's been polished by long years of humans holding it, and my ambition is to use this handmade artefact on the next run of production boomerangs that I produce as cross boomerangs, and see how the blade sections conform for modern use with the woods that I'm using. But there you go. 50 years old, and for 45 years I've wanted to see a genuine fair dinkum piece of Aboriginal woodwork technology, and here we have it, the Boomerang-Carver's stone from Snake Gully in the Man River Valley, northern New South Wales. Yeehaw!